in order to be successful, sometimes that risk that it takes to go from 0 to 1 to 100 is in completely different mind frame. And where I oftentimes see people crash out per se is they're taking a hustler mentality to a startup, and that's never going to work. I've never seen that work.
This show is about builders in modern economy.
Yeah.
Some people build companies, some people build audiences, and all of them are solving the same problem, which is how to turn effort into scalable outcomes. I work with content creators, but I also like to talk to entrepreneurs because I'm an entrepreneur myself now. So systems thinking, what are the different kinds of stuff that they do, which I'm not doing, really fascinates me. And that's like a particular reason why I wanted to build this podcast out. And today's guest is one of those people who just doesn't talk about the future, but you build it, right? You're a venture capitalist slash growth marketer
Yep.
at Mark Cuban Companies. You're the co-author of NFT Handbook, the Metaverse Handbook. You're founder. You're an endurance athlete running 7 marathons across 7 continents in 7 days, dude. What the fuck? And a guy who once sold a world star hip hop chain NFT for 121 Ethereum, bro.
Yeah.
This is Q Harrison Terry.
Yo,
You
what's
know?
good? What's good?
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Dude, number one, let's talk about your current endeavor with respect to you training for this particular
The Great World Race. It's
in
of
November. Okay.
2026. It feels like it's next year, right? Because
Yeah.
November feels so far away. Because it seems like this year, we started off with so much vigor. Like
Yeah.
it was just like, oh, okay, this is 2026, and
Hell
it seems
yeah.
like it hasn't stopped at all since.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
well, it's just because of the fact that how fast the entire world is moving now. You just have so many things to, swallow through, for lack of a better word. And also, you training every single day that only gets it much more volume. The amount of volume that you have in the day just increases tremendously, right?
Yeah. So the volume training wise, I would say it is analogous with business. It's you show up and like what the momentum is this I would say the conduit that both kind I see the lens of both through. So like I have this frame of I need to get motion going in the business side, and I also got to get motion going in the training side. And I think motion when it comes to training looks a little bit different than it does on the business side for a couple reasons. One, in training, it's just miles, right? Like miles is what matters. Miles is what gets you to point A to point B. And so you talked about volume. You start off maybe 20 miles per week if you're just casually hobby jogging. And then you say, hey, I want to run a marathon. And then you're probably going to get that mileage up to 30, 40 miles
True.
per week.
Yeah.
And then you say you want to run an ultra marathon. Then you get that up to 80 miles per week.
Yeah, that's right.
And then you keep going. For me,
Yeah.
I'm looking at 100-mile weeks in the near future, and it's rough because you can't just go from your current baseline or what your body's used to and just double it, right?
Yeah.
Whereas in business, you can do that. When you get a good growth campaign going, you can actually
True.
scale and you can 10x, 20x, 30x.
Yeah.
It's not a problem. That is very much the case in the endurance athlete side. That's been the
Gotcha.
biggest thing, but motion in business is you get a new deal, you get a new client, you get a new customer, and
Yeah.
you see that as the momentous moment that
Yeah.
allows you to grow.
No, I 100% agree. But here's how I see the similarity between endurance training and working, like building a business out.
Yeah.
It's stamina both ways in terms of the amount of mileage that you're able to take, crunch out per week, and the amount of hours and with conscious effort that you're able to do, especially when you're a solo entrepreneur, because the number of hours and the quality of those hours become extraordinarily important. One thing that I feel at this point is that I don't have that problem of concentrating for a very long period of time of months together.
Yeah.
But what I feel is that this is also something that I did not have earlier. It got up over the course of time, and that I correlate to you saying, hey, you just cannot start off with 100 mile per week. You
Yeah.
have to gradually go up. But yes, in terms of leverage, the growth campaign, all of that stuff, it is a different way of looking at it, that you can have much more impact, and this is more linear and that is more exponential.
I would agree with all of that. Focus is an interesting concept, right? When you start to think about focus, I see so many of my friends and colleagues struggling with that in 2026. I
Mhm.
didn't realize that focus is starting to become more of a luxury
Yeah,
than a
absolutely. Yeah.
necessity.
Yeah.
And the craziest thing is there's this device that I see more and more people buying. And I just, like me, I don't see the need for it, but I
What is the
guess
device?
it's called the brick.
Yeah, I've heard about it.
Everyone's
Yeah.
like, I got to brick my
Yeah.
phone. I got to brick my phone. I'm like,
I have so many friends who've grayscale their phone out. I myself have used clear space,
yeah.
or I have website blockers. I have literally a app called Focus. What it does is it blocks my ability to be on specific
Yeah.
apps. So it has different modes. And if I want to do specific thing within Chrome, it will only allow me to do a specific
Okay.
website and all that
Yeah.
stuff. And you're absolutely right. That's because of the fact that these big technology companies have totally fucked our attention up. What do you think about that?
I mean, attention's very much fleeting, but it's like attention is on the flip side everything you need as a
100%.
company, right? And then
Yeah.
even if you're not running a company, if you're a brand or you're working as a creator, we're all competing for attention. And so
Yeah.
there's a, it's ironic that was the title of the paper that would go on to introduce LLMs or the large language model.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, it was called Attention is All You Need. It was very fitting for the times that we're in because now it seems like we've traded attention for the AI.
Yeah.
So not only are people bricking their phones, it's they're also a lot less effective at work because they're like everyone's just giving all their work to the AI. And like
True.
you're incentivized to do that because what does it mean to be human nowadays, right? Like if
Yeah.
you work at a company, does AI replace you or does AI enable you? And you look at it from the tech perspective, if you're a software engineer and you're not using AI, you're probably 10 times less effective as your peer who's
True.
using AI
Living in a
and has
fucking
got all
forest.
these agents going and he's
Yeah.
or she is
Yeah.
making it pop. And I think that's like a real reality where it's like you're incentivized now to be less skilled
Yeah.
at what you do.
100%.
And now you're trusting that like this machine or this robot is going to get you further down the path and there's still some type of embodiment of what it means to be a human that's going to stay true in this process. And I think that's a very heavy question to just ponder on.
Yeah.
And I think that also is chipping away at some of our focus and attention because there's just some heavy stuff that's out there right now. If you've got a decent IQ and you start to think about it, you know, it could put you in a state of existential crisis. And I think we see a lot of that too. So I don't think it's just, oh, people don't have the focus. I think people are like genuinely scared.
No, 100%, dude. And let's talk about this focus because you are doing 100 million things. It feels like when I try to research you, I was like,
Stylist
what
is
is this
crazy.
guy
Stylist is
doing? Like,
crazy, man.
oh, yeah,
I never
bro.
stopped working, man. You know, you just stay in the gym. Like I was inspired by Kobe, and he was
Yeah,
like, I put
yeah.
up 10,000 shots a day, and I'm not a
Love that.
basketball player, but like, what's my equivalent? And so whether it's writing a book, or it creating the movie, or looking at an application and saying how can this grow and scale to many users, I just show up and say, let me get this work done.
100%, dude. But I feel like a person like you, like it's also very similar to being a solopreneur in the sense that you need to be able to dissect your day out.
Yeah,
You need to
yeah,
be able to prioritize your day out. You need to be able to build in certain things with respect to, for example, if you're increasing your mileage, what is that going to have an impact on your focus, on your calories, on your attention, on the energy that you're going to have during the day. Now, having said that, you are working. Let's talk about what exactly are you really working on these days? Are you still working with Mark Cuban?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So how do you uh, dissect your day out? How does that work out in a place like Bali, for example? It's coming from the United States.
My work day doesn't change. Like I've been able to work pretty much forever, and so it's like I just have a task list, and I work probably anywhere from 12 to I work about 12 hours, 12 to 16 hours a day. I mean, but like I don't have it's just me, right? It's like I
Yeah.
don't have a girlfriend, I don't have kids,
Yeah.
I don't have the things that
So you're like
like
me.
the people are trying to build a house and all that. I don't have that, and I want that. I want to build towards that
Bro, you're exactly like me. I'm not married. I don't have kids. I don't have a girlfriend. I don't have a dog. I don't have debt. I have an extraordinary level of just this work ethic to be able to just put my focus onto something which I've never had any experience on. I worked 10 years in finance. But going back to the fact that what you told about was about attention,
Yeah.
this is what really directed me to build something out in the attention economy.
So I agree with you on that. So I think that we have a ton of time because I think that it's not bad. I think me and you are on the opposite side of that where we actually regret not having some of the things that we should have at this point in our lives, right?
True, yeah.
But
The more you talk to your parents, the more you.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Your mom's like, yeah, where's my
Oh my,
grandkid?
oh my
You look,
God.
you look outside. You're like, damn, I should be telling somebody how to raise their perspective now.
Yeah.
But all in due time. I think we said we're gonna be grinders, and we happen to be in this time where, if you go back 10 years, what was that? 2016.
2016.
2016 was a lot different than 2026.
Cool.
In
Yeah.
heck, the Apple Watch had just came out. Like the
That's
wearable
right.
movement was just starting,
Yeah,
right? Like I
no.
think it came out the
Yeah,
year
true.
before, but like it was starting to become ever present, and like you were seeing it everywhere, like 2016, 2017.
Yeah.
AirPods hadn't even come out yet in 2016, which is wild because AirPods comes out in 2017. So the world in 2016 is a lot different than 2026.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
privacy, we still were trying to argue and say, oh, we want some privacy. Today, it's, man, let me install OpenClaw on my computer and just give it all the
Oh,
keys,
yeah.
give it all the data. And you're like, what? But it's like, we live in this world where like things are just totally different.
Yeah.
We've
I
been
agree.
grinding through that the whole time. So
Yeah.
we've been like riding this wave where you're like, oh, my attention, oh, my attention. Dude, I've been trying to not burn out.
Yeah, me too.
Like attention was like one thing, but and that's
Yeah.
one vertical. But it's like every day I just show up, I make a list of what do I need to do. And it's not, I'm not saying I'm perfect, right? There's some days, man, where you might only get one thing done.
100%.
And you have to
I
take,
agree.
you have to be okay with that. And those
Yeah.
are hard days. Those are the hardest days, actually. It's
Yeah.
not the days where you get 15 things done that you feel all right. Those are days where you're like, oh, I got this win, it's great. And you know, your
Yeah.
endorphins and your dopamine, it's all out there.
Yeah.
You're depressed on the day where you have 15 things you got to get done. You woke up late, you got one thing done, and you're looking at yourself and you're like, I ain't got nothing to show for this.
Yeah, dude, there's string of days sometimes
Oh,
where you fucking just don't get too much stuff done. And you're like, no, I have to be up at 4, 5, whatever it takes.
Yes.
Because, hey,
you got to catch up.
you got to catch
You got to
up.
catch
Yeah.
up. You got to catch up. And like the thing that helped me, and I think running, this is analogous to running too, where, dude, I'm gonna say something crazy. We've seen a lot of top sports players, like people at the top of their league, miss like free throws, baskets, laps. Like people mistake. Like the mistakes make you human. I give myself grace on that, but I wasn't a sports guy. Like I'm starting to become a sports guy now, right? Like I'm late to the show. I'm really late to the show. I'm really late.
There's no age to this one.
I see. I'm catching up. I'm in the catch up. I'm in the
You're
process.
40. You're not a football player. That's the best thing about it.
Exactly. I got fresh everything. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I'm out here. I'm taking a step back. I'm not playing basketball, just running. But
Yeah.
I look at this and where I'm going is I didn't play a lot of sports growing up, but I spent a ton of time in areas like Pokemon.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I played a lot of Pokemon.
Okay.
You didn't play Pokemon?
I played it on the PC, but I never did the app where people would just go randomly and
Oh,
just.
no, yeah. So I mean,
I played
okay.
a lot of that on the PC.
Oh, okay. So you
during my
you
time.
going
Yeah, oh,
crazy?
dude.
Yeah, you were going crazy. All right, yeah. You're a PC player.
12 hours together, 15 hours together.
No,
bro.
no one's messing with you. You guys were the tryhards. You guys had the Pokemon running on your computer. I'm over
Yeah.
here on the Game Boy, right? It's a Pokemon. You want to catch all the Pokemon, right? And so you're going through the fields of wild grass. You're getting ready. You're getting annoyed. Like you don't want to see Caterpie anymore, right? Like it keeps annoying you. You're like, I don't need another Caterpie. You don't want to see this dog Pokemon. You're trying to get the super rare Pokemon, the shiny Pokemon, the legendary Pokemon.
Yeah.
You're trying to build your Pokedex. But in the process, you got to level those Pokemon up. You got to battle the gyms. You got to go through this whole like exploration, as what I'll say. And you're becoming a Pokemon master, or you're going to complete your Pokedex. However you play it, you can play the game different ways. For me, it's analogous to what we're doing right now.
How is that?
Because in Pokemon, there's really no script, man. You meet the professor, you get
Yeah.
your starter, you pick your starter Pokemon, and then you're just left off to the races. It's like college. It's like, all right, do you want to go left? Do you want to go right? You go right, they might have it unlocked, but you got a level 4 Pokemon trying to battle a level 36. You're gonna die. It's not gonna be fun.
Yeah.
So you figure out what the right path is, and if you go off the path, you don't have the right tools, you got to go back to the right spot and try to figure out how to get the tools so you can
Yeah.
get the flashlight to light up the path. I learned that like the journey is not straightforward from day 0, right? Like it's not going to be 1 plus 1 gets you to what is that 4 or 5, right? That's not going to be the case all the time. Sometimes you got to get 1. Sometimes you get 0.5.
Yeah.
Some days you get 5, right? And that's like you have progress, and it's an incremental journey. It's like with Pokemon, what it taught me was like, hey, every time you go in that wild grass, you don't know what to expect. But
Yeah.
you got to just know that you have a mission in your mind,
Yeah.
and you can't let the random Caterpie frustrate you. You can't let the random like
Yeah.
you're not gonna find a Charizard in the wild grass. So stop searching, right? Like
Yeah.
you have to.
I agree.
You have to start the game over, or you got to trade, right?
Dude, this is a great point that you just took up over here with respect to, hey, it's all open. You can go anywhere you want to. Like when that comes down to just building a startup, right?
Yeah.
Building a company, but that could be both good and bad in the sense that if you start climbing the wrong mountain out, bro, you can go bankrupt, right? Your funds might dry out. So it's how do you? Well, it's a
Pokemon's the
two-part.
same way. What happens when you go up the wrong mountain, literally, and a Geodude comes and takes you for all your stuff, or Diglett? What happens? You're
Dude,
done. You
yeah.
black out.
Yeah, you black out.
Yeah.
But the thing is, in real life, then that becomes a problem, right? In the sense that you could do a little bit of pattern recognition, you could do a little bit of
Yes.
A/B testing,
Yes.
but at the end of the day, you also need to see, am I actually going in the right direction? How do you ensure that?
So I think that there's hustlers
Yeah.
where you don't take as much risk. You just have a goal, and you just are like, yo, I'm hustling. So I got some CDs, some DVDs, some soaps. I got little things that are already configured. People understand what they are. You don't have to educate your market, and you're going to go through that product really fast. And then once you're done, you got to re-up, and you got to go hustle again. So hustlers are like this a never-ending loop of basically they clear out all their inventory, and they don't have too much to scale or distribution or systems to really make it work. Entrepreneurs, on the other hand, they have to take a lot of risk because you might have everything you described where you're betting the whole house on this kind of unproven, shaky territory. You still got to have that hustle, right? So you still got to sell. There's no way around that.
That's right.
But then you got to convince a team that this crazy idea is going to work. Then you have to go and get all the product and manufacture, or you have to go get it from Indonesia and then take it over to New Zealand, or take it over to China, or take it over to America. You have to think about the logistics, and then you have to build a brand on top of that, right?
Yeah.
Those entrepreneurs, they have to think in systems. They have to think at scale. And in order to be successful, sometimes that risk that it takes to go from 0 to 1 to 100 is in completely different mind frame. And where I oftentimes see people crash out per se is they're taking a hustler mentality to a startup, and that's never gonna work. I've never seen that work. I don't know no hustlers running startups.
Well, some of the traits of being a hustler might give you certain benefits, but ain't gonna just take you right out of the window and get you to where you want to be.
A hustler has a goal.
Yeah.
They're gonna go to that goal and get it. So they know that I gotta move X amount of products, or I gotta do X thing, and then I can reset and restart, or recalibrate. An entrepreneur, you think Jeff Bezos walked in to Amazon and was like, we just need to sell 10,000 products?
Fuck no.
He was like, all right, we sold 10,000. We need to sell 100,000 products today in the next 10 minutes.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
And I think that risk is oftentimes that gut feeling that you have. It takes it engulfs your stomach, and you're like trying to build a business. And like sometimes you get scared, bro.
Yeah.
You get scared.
Oh yeah, bro.
You get scared.
I get scared almost every day. And honestly, what you just said is great, because you know what? I watched your TEDx talk when TEDx was a TEDx, right, bro? 2015.
I was a kid,
oh my
man.
God, you might have gotten a lot of dates from there, huh?
I messed up my TED talk.
But that was pre founding anything Q. That was pre Mark Cuban Q. You know, you were that raw thing, and that has its own value. Well, I saw the entire video. I see you right now, and I
entirely different person.
But it's a
Yeah,
journey.
yeah, yeah.
And what you just said right now with respect to Bezos, like 10,000 units and 100,000 units, there's one thing that you talked about in the TEDx talk, which was that your vision of who you want to become is your most valuable asset,
Yes.
not your talent, not your connections, not your credentials, is the vision. So is that something that you said 10 years back? And I feel like you're saying the same thing right now. So you do hold that to be true, even though,
1000%.
yeah.
Most rich and famous people aren't rich and famous, but because they wanted to be rich and famous, they are
Yeah.
rich and famous because they aspired to be the version of themselves that they wanted to be. I paraphrase that a little bit, but I think that's the opening of that talk. And I would say, yeah, all of that is true. Like, you have to know who you are. And that is really hard in 2026. I'm not going to sit here and say anybody that doesn't get it, or anyone that feels lost, or anyone that feels disconnected, you feel that's normal. Right now, like, it's chaotic. Everything's chaotic. Like,
Hmm.
the stock market is chaotic, the
Hmm.
job market is chaotic, the global economy is chaotic, all of the wars. Bro, we're trying to process. I don't know if you read the news lately, but which war do I keep up with?
Yeah, 100%. And to go on to your particular point, this is how I do it. I shut everything out. Honestly speaking, I've not read news the last 5 to 7 years, bro.
But what
Never been
do?
happy.
You isolated yourself
Yeah.
from the problem. There's a whole country that struggled with this. Do you know the country? It's in Asia.
Struggles with attention, like
No, not
just
attention, but they closed their borders for 200 years.
North Korea.
No, it was Japan.
Japan closed the
Yes.
borders for 200.
Think about this. So they shut their borders down for about 200 years, right? And they are still dealing with the problems that ensued from that situation today. So Japan is one of the most homogenous societies on the planet. That's well documented. You can look at it
For
any which
sure.
way, right?
Yeah.
So Japanese people only really rock with Japanese people. And to break that makes you a very special person. Now, what's unique about this is there's so many societal issues that stem from that, right? They don't know how to interact with other cultures. They don't know how to see some of the things that happen at the global landscape. And it's not because Japanese people are bad. It's largely because they've been disconnected for so long. Like,
Mm.
how are you supposed to like have this wherewithal to say, oh, okay, I get it. I understand it now. You don't. And so what we're doing, we're rushing to when I see us say, oh, I haven't read the news because it's depressing. Oh, I haven't followed up on my friends because I got anxiety. Oh, I haven't reached out to my mama because I don't know what to say. These are real things. Like, I'm not,
This,
and I'm,
absolutely. Yeah, I
and there's
agree.
nothing wrong with any of these things, right?
Yeah.
The problem is they only hurt you. So even if you have a vision for yourself, how are you going to be an entrepreneur dealing with crazy levels of anxiety?
I reverse engineered that into it comes down to the attention and the calories and energy. In other words,
Okay.
what are you going to give your energy towards? Are you
Fair.
going to be one of those guys who are going to be tweeting and writing those comments on YouTube who nobody gives a flying falafel about?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's all
The
giving
flying
that
falafel.
attention into something which is not going to go into any direction, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, there might be a war happening in Russia, Ukraine,
Okay.
Israel, Palestine, and you're trying to build a company out. And then the thing that I realized for me was the fact that we go back to the same thing. We can only concentrate on so many things in a day. You can keep your family together, message your mama,
You
and
gotta message your mama. You gotta message.
follow
That's a
up with your.
blessing.
Oh,
Your
that's a fucking
your
blessing,
parents'
bro.
time is running up, especially when you get to our age,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like, we don't have that many more innings with our parents, and
yeah.
so you have to cherish every moment. But you have to make those moments because it's not like parent time is abundant. It's not like your mom's calling and checking on you. She's, I miss you, I love you, but I don't understand what you're doing. You're using the computer, you're making money, magical internet money. What is Bitcoin? Like, that's what I mean. That's what
Yeah.
moms is. That's what moms. But that's where moms should be.
Yeah.
So I'm not mad at it. So you have to go off the path that you're talking about. You're in this hyper loop, and you're like, hold up, hold up. We can't let this train go by. We got to pause it. Let me go call my mama, and then you got to get back in the cockpit. And you got.
Yeah.
Everybody doesn't have the skill, and I think that we're going into an era where entrepreneurs will probably be fine. If you think about AI and stuff, things that make you a great entrepreneur, when I talked about the systems of scales, just having this intuitive, so knowing how to put things together and always push for growth. I think that you'll be fine if you are genuinely an entrepreneur, and the times that are to come are pretty abundant and rife with opportunity. Are they weird? Yes. Are they morally inclined? Probably not in all sectors, but there's a lot of opportunity for an entrepreneur. If
Yeah.
you are a person that is just tied to a job and you're not ready to expand your horizon, expand your skill sets, expand your tool sets, I don't think that like life is going to be too sweet.
I agree with you more, man. I've spent 10 years in finance. I was doing this 9 to 5, which is more like a 9 to 7 or 9 to 9. And you probably have enough energy to get a workout done and do 50 swipes on probably Hinge before you call it a day and question your life. But dude, when I got out of it, the first thing I realized was the number of skills and number of things that you could be doing, that you could be good at, was something that you never even realized. Number one, the most important thing being sales, business development. All of these things were never ever required of me when I was in finance. Like very less. It was like more or less got to do with being on a Teams call. That was called the front office job, bro. Being
Yeah,
on the Teams call with the client was called the front office job.
that's crazy.
And you just realize that, wow, you're actually fucking good at a lot more other things. You're good at managing, you're good at leadership, but these skills are not getting tested, not getting
Because
like
you're a
you're not
cog in
getting,
that machine,
yeah, because you
right?
have certain processes of this Excel and PowerPoint, all of this BS, how to crunch these reports out. That's about it.
But now all those skills, like honestly, it's weird because the skills that would have helped you like be an entrepreneur, like just even 5, 6 years ago, like being nice with Excel, being nice with PowerPoint, being nice with Word, like being able to express a vision and collectively build a narrative that like got people bought into it so that they then enlisted themselves in that vision to do things on the behalf of the company or the mission that you ensued.
Yeah, for
Like
sure.
that that's a very powerful skill set to have. We now live in an era where I can get a Claude cowork bot to do a lot of things that you just were enlisting yourself on, right?
Yeah, the
And
cost
like
of business has almost gone to zero,
zero,
bro.
it's cheap,
That
so
is
you
the
can
best thing
hustle.
about it.
So you
Yeah,
can be a hustler now, and you can
yeah,
do things that used to cost 3,000, 30,000, 3 million
yeah.
for 3 cents or a couple hundred tokens, which is wild. You need the network, you still need the resources, you still need to know how to market and position yourself in that stack. But like, this is why I said if you're an entrepreneur, you can see the shifts, like you can put yourself in the right positions and you can direct things a certain way. I think that there's like a lopsided version of opportunity that exists right now in 26. And I think that window, maybe we got 600, 700 days left on that. Because I think that door will close. I
What is
just
that door?
I think so right now, right? Like you have AI and you have the foundational models. So you have like OpenAI, and they have ChatGPT, you've got Gemini, you've got Claude, you've got Microsoft Copilot, they got Copilot, and you've got Perplexity. You've got these models, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But these models have to be so vast and so big that it's almost ridiculous to how is Meta going to build the best model for finance? It's probably not going to happen. And then you go forward, it's like they have the glasses, right? And there's probably a lot of opportunity in the glasses if you are niche enough to build something. I'll give you an example. If I were a technician, let's just say I'm working on air AC units,
Yeah,
because there's a
ducting
lot of
all of this stuff. Yeah.
that there's problems with that all the time. Sometimes you gotta go on a roof, sometimes you gotta run a cable,
Yeah.
right? If I
Oh,
got
your
these,
glasses could be really,
you could build an
yeah,
AI to just look at it and say, hey, here's
yeah,
the problem. This is connected. Or hey, when you went downstairs, remember that was disconnected. Here's a reminder. And
yeah.
like you can automate the workflow. But like, I'm a tech guy, right? I'm not an AC technician. I don't know how to do heating and cooling. But someone's gonna pick up those glasses and say, here's the best AI vertical app for that. And if you
Mm.
go into all these different verticals, you can literally pick whichever vertical. You can go into cooking. I haven't seen a dope AI cooking app. Like I seen like the recipes and I seen like some cookbooks, but like, how would a chef use AI? I
Mm.
want to go to Gordon Ramsay and be like, look, I know you got your master class. That's cool. But
Mm.
like, what's the coworker, the cobot for you? We don't know what that looks like yet, but
Mm.
it's coming. And like, I'm not here to buy the whole concept of
But isn't the
robots.
open source aspect of it allows the entrepreneurs to go into all of these verticals and build that stuff out? Like, for example, if a person has had so much experience in the air conditioning, then that person gets out of there and if that person has access to this open source model,
Yeah.
they are able to create this vertical out, which Meta would not have created. Meta would have created the entire infrastructure out.
So Meta
Yeah.
builds you the foundational model. They open sourced it. That's Llama. and then you as the entrepreneur pick that up and you can
Yeah.
go package that into anything. Now there's some legalities that I think are making a little people hesitant to run with this, but the trends are already happening. I think you look at a Y Combinator in their upcoming class, I think the number was like 30% are like just companies that are using, what's it called, OpenClaw. They changed the name of that like 15 times, so I
They
can't
did.
keep up. But
Yeah.
think about it, they're just making different skills or just variations of OpenClaw or open source AI, and they're saying, hey, let me go after this. And there's going to be developer tools, of course, because there's only so many software engineers that actually even know how to use this stuff. And so they're going to like, there's still like a lot of repositories that have been, I would say, still obfuscated because we haven't gotten to the point where they were needed.
Gets written very fast, bro.
Yes,
That's
so
one thing.
so you have things that are needed and then things that are deprecated all in the same day.
Yeah.
And it was completely different a week ago. And so I think that when you start to think about life in that perspective and you're like, okay, things are changing at the speed of light and you have to stay with it. If I were an entrepreneur today and I were trying to get my start, I probably would move to a place that was low cost because I think that money's going to get a little bit hard, right? Like I think that you can see the writing on the wall. And that's for the bigger companies, it's for the medium. I would not want to run a medium-sized company today. I would either want to run a really big company or a really small company.
Really lean company.
Yeah, because I think that like the medium companies right now just seem like they've got it the worst because they have to, let's say you got 600 employees. You can't move really that fast, right? So you want to say, hey, let me institute like this new AI process. It's still going to take a couple months to, even if you got that done in a month or 2 months, that's pretty good for 600 employees, right? Whereas if you got 6 employees, you can get that done in like 2 days, a week, right? Like a week would be slow, but like you get 6 employees, let's copy.
Yeah.
If you got 60,000 employees, you're asking yourself, all right, how can I put the process in there that automates this and cuts that 60,000 down to 40,000?
What every single company is looking at right now.
It's happening. I'm not trying to be like an asshole.
Well,
that's really what's happening.
They have to do it. The competitors are doing it, period, bro.
Yes. And I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying that those are the strategies.
Yeah.
What do you do if you're that middle guy? That middle guy has enough people where he could do
the thing that the large companies are doing.
They could cut. They could say, okay, we're going to go from 600 to 200. But are you going to really let 400 of your people go? If you're competing with the little guy and the big guy, like that middle, that medium, small to medium sized business, it's a little difficult. And you know how hard it is to get good people?
Oh, bro, you tell me about it.
No one talks about this. Hiring is not, people are like, oh, I'm just going to let all these people go. Dude, I don't want to let my people go. When I have to start a business, if I feel like I want to let you go, something really had to go wrong.
Yeah, because you have to spend so much effort and time with them. It's a relationship being built out. So you want to be able to make that decision in the first instance. And if something is not working out, you really need to, number one, document it down. What really went down over here? And do I really have to do this? Or can I retrain this person?
Yes. Because it's usually, we always say, oh, it's personnel, it's personnel. No, man, it could be your systems. It could be your communication. It could be the process, right? I guess that's still tied to the systems, but you're right. Why did they have you who has the leadership skills, who has the management skills, who has the ability to see around that corner?
Yeah.
Why are you the guy saying, hey guys, this is the firm. Today we're going to cover these 5 things. And if you have any questions, here's Dan and Tom and Jessica. Why are you doing that?
Yeah, exactly. You got to be like looking at every single function and see why exactly are you doing.
Oh, they're like, oh, he's young, so he can't go to the new client business dinner and he can't bring on new books of business. You might have had the idea that was shifted the firm, but the process was so demented, it couldn't even unearth the talent. Because think about it, if your firm was doing this right here 10 years ago, they would be looking like all-stars today. Joe Rogan's like one of the most popular people in America. And why? Because he had a podcast that he'd been doing for what, 12 years before podcasting was cool?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Consistent. That's a great thing, great concept of just be consistent. Like,
love Joe Rogan, by the way.
Find your lane and just be consistent. Don't care. Know that your community comes from here. You are your first cheerleader. You are the first person to motivate yourself to stop or to go. So humans can endure so much nonsense. We've learned that. That's well documented.
Yeah.
Right?
That's right.
But you have to wake up and choose to go forward. And that choice is not easy. Sometimes, even for me, I experience it every day. Sometimes I'm in the pain cave, bro. Sometimes my knees hurt. Sometimes I can't feel like certain parts of my ankles and stuff. And I'm like, oh, if I push too much today, I might injure myself. That's my inner rhetoric.
Yeah.
Like I can look at my stats and say, okay, I don't have to go 95%. Maybe I could just do an easy run a day. And if I feel something uneasy, let me just stop. But most people will say, I'm not even going to risk it. And we're going back to that whole concept of risk.
Yeah.
I think what we're seeing is some people's risk tolerance isn't as large as the social media profiles that they put out there and have led us to believe. Some people just don't know how to risk.
Yeah.
They can't handle it.
Dude, two things up over here. One, with respect to your pain cave, dude, I like to quote Courtney DeWalter, right?
Yeah.
What she says is, you get to, it's an opportunity for you to be in the pain cave where the actual work actually starts, right? That is the place that you want to be in. And it comes, of course, the more you are better, it comes later down the miles.
Dude, I got PTSD from you saying it. My neck hurts already. I'm like, oh, I don't want. Yeah,
but that's interesting because you got to look at it from two aspects, right? Especially if you are building a company or if you have a very heavy job, you need to be able to look at it from that point of view. Hey, is this going to affect my focus, my attention? So how much am I supposed to stretch myself up over here with respect to running, for example?
Yeah.
Sometimes you just can do it, and should you do it? Should you not do it? That all comes just through A/B testing, probably. Hey, I did this so much, and hence this much amount of time and effort that got blocked out for my work. I need to change it. So you need to bring that consciousness out and do the entire thing.
Yeah.
That's an entire process. But hey, what I like about, like, for example, I was just looking at your website.
Yeah.
What I really liked about it was public accountability.
Right?
The aspect of public accountability and social media allows you to stay on a goal for so long, right? That's number one. Number two, I also looked at your prior things. You were like a co-host at a CNBC. What is it called? No retreat. But is that propeller for you to get into this level of endurance? Did you see a lot of benefits with respect to business?
Like Spartan race, I guess like marathon running. I think the reasons you do a Spartan race or any like obstacle course race are a little bit different than why you do like a marathon or an ultra or any distance running. In an obstacle course race, you're literally using so much. Like it's so mental, dude. Like I know, and it's hard to say it because I'm now on the side of the ultra. Like I'm getting into the ultra territory. I'm not there yet, but I'm like very close. I'm like a centimeter away, and I get that.
Yeah.
And like for me to sit down and say, yo, let's just go run 31 miles, you don't look at me and say I'm crazy. And the funny thing is, you can actually achieve that, right? Like you got to train, you got to prepare, you got to diet, you got to sleep. There's a system and a process. And I'm not saying you got to go do it at some crazy course in Nevada. I'm just saying that like we can go run 31 miles damn near in any neighborhood. And if you got to do a loop, you just do a loop, but you can get it done. I can't say the same thing about a Spartan death race.
I did one in New Jersey. It's a trifecta.
So you know this, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's not the same, bro. It's not the same. It's like
fucking crazy.
You're like, you had to go under the mud?
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah. So
I had to do the entire thing.
Think about how many marathon runners would just drop out there, because you're already giving it. You're all right. You got to close this out. You got to go underneath this mud.
Yeah.
Not everybody want to do that.
Yeah.
So that's why I think like I've done Spartan races, and I'm just like the mental, or if you're doing the monkey bars and you're climbing.
Yeah. I remember.
If you're tired, you're just tired. You like, and you gotta now take yourself from here all the way over there to crawl in some mud.
Yeah. No.
You're pulling from different.
Yeah.
It's a different mindset. Like my mind, like I just gotta get like with running. You find your cadence. You lock in. You harden your mind. You tell yourself it doesn't hurt because if you're not conditioned, it's gonna be painful. Something's going to always hurt. Something's gonna always, especially as you get older, something always is like a little. And I'm hoping that I get past that point, but you're gonna feel something, and then you ask yourself, what am I gonna give it today? Am I gonna give it 100%? Am I gonna give it 80%? Am I gonna give it 60%? Am I gonna give it 40%? And I think with running, that is the question that a lot of people don't ask themselves or are not upfront about. That I think if you go into it, I'm not in a race to compete with you.
You're
That's the
not.
thing.
You're just competing with yourself
With
at the end of it.
yourself. I
Yeah.
have to beat the last version of myself. I have to say, one thing I like about the Coros watch is when I set like certain, let's say I'm on a course and I want to do a time, I can say, hey, this is the time I want, and I can set the watch. So then let's say you were racing me in a race. I look at my watch, says I'm on time. I don't have to beat you.
Yeah.
I didn't sign up. If I signed up to beat you, then I probably wouldn't have set this up that way.
Oh, you're saying that that level of psychological issue gets trumped out because you are actually competing with what's on your watch and
Yeah,
not because somebody else is doing a David fucking Goggins up over there.
exactly. I said I was gonna go get 24. I said I was gonna go get 18. I said I was gonna go get 245.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go get that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go get your 236. I'm not gonna go get your 15. I'm not gonna go get your 20. Why? Because I'm not in that race. I'm not you.
Yeah.
I might be able to hit that, but at what cost? Let's
Mm.
say I do compete with you. Let's say we do run down the straight. Let's say we do go all out. We battle. Bro, we not in the World Olympics. We're not.
So that allows you to progress faster. Does that?
1000%, because you're not
yeah.
going to get injured as much, right?
True.
Like, because
Yeah.
I don't know what your capacity is. I also don't know what you're doing. Like, I think
Yeah.
what I've seen, and I'm not calling people out, I'm just going to tell the truth. There's a lot of people taking a lot of things.
What do you mean by that?
There's a lot of performance enhancing drugs that
Oh, yeah,
exist. There's
yeah.
a lot of steroid usage that's happening. There's a lot of like weird supplements that are happening.
Yeah.
And I don't know why people take them. Some people have actual needs. Some
Yeah.
people just want to have the aesthetics. Some people don't even know what they're doing. But they have these unfair advantages in the
Yeah.
landscape. And if I'm a natural runner and I'm going against
That's
you
another thing. Yeah.
or the next person,
Yeah.
and we're actually, let's say we're both natural runners, but we're going up against the next person who's taking something,
Yeah.
bro, we're both delusional.
Yeah.
Because we got to work a little bit harder. We got to go places where this person, they might not even feel anything. They might just be going down the straight. But I've also seen a lot of people that's taking a lot of stuff, like in
Yeah.
races, blow up, right? Whereas I look at this guy, he's putting up, I don't know, a 447 mile. And I'm just like, whoa, this guy's so far ahead. 447 miles is insane.
It's crazy,
Insane.
bro.
Insane.
Yeah.
But then I'll see the same guy blow up on like mile 11, right? So you're like, oh, damn. How did I pass the guy that was doing 447? And so if I'm trying to beat you and I don't know my destination, bro, I'm already cooked.
Yeah.
You mess me up and yourself.
That comes down to the vision aspect of
1000%.
you need to be able to
See that version of yourself.
Yeah, and also the right vision is important.
I think when I run, I always think that I see the vision that I have, because it's interesting you keep bringing this vision thing up. So like when I run, the vision that I have of myself is I finish the race. And when I'm running, I'm just catching up to that version of myself.
Gotcha.
And so it's, in what state did I finish the race and I'm okay with my performance? Did I finish the race and I am regretting my performance? Did I finish the race and I'm like really happy with my performance? And I think that there's different states. You can't control the elements. And I think that this is true in a Spartan race, and this is true in I think running too. You never know the course conditions.
That's
right.
another one, yeah.
Things change.
Yeah.
Like you could go out and think it's sunny and you think it's cool, and then wind changes and now you got a cold front. And like it sucks to run in the cold, especially if you don't have the right gear.
Yeah.
And that could take you out. It sucks to be running I've ran races where, man, I thought it was gonna be cool. And the sun comes out and it turns up the temperature 10, 15 degrees. That matters a lot in a race.
Oh, bro.
Yeah, that matters a lot.
Yeah. 100%.
Like you start overheating, you see how you
a
start.
A little bit of temperature change can definitely.
It's mental work, right? Because
Yeah.
that'll take you out the game. Like I've ran races where I'm like, damn, I was so hot.
That's why the Death Valley race is one of the most difficult races in the world.
Yeah.
The bad waters in Death Valley. Yeah.
They got a bunch of those. I'm not at that level yet. Like, nah.
Bro, yeah.
I know what I'm doing. I'm doing a great world race. I'm gonna do some half marathons. I'm gonna do some marathons. Like I'm gonna have fun with it. I want to train a lot of different places. Like I trained in Bali, and it was fun. This is my first time training this close to the equator. I've always heard the stories and rumors, and I say they're true.
Yeah.
And also the community out here of just people that are into fitness and just aesthetics and just bodybuilding.
It's very filtered.
It's huge here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huge here.
Now we would want to kind of transition into what you're doing for Cuban. That's superbly interesting, right? Yeah. I do have it over here that you serve as a head of growth marketing at Mark Cuban Companies.
Yeah.
let's have you talk about it. Like, when did you start? What are you doing right now? How has your position changed and all of that stuff?
Yeah. So I look at it as I've been working with Mark Cuban for almost 10 years now. And the cool thing there is every day is different. Working with Mark in 2019 is a lot different than working with Mark in 2026. And it's a range of things. We've seen so many shifts in technology, so many shifts in the business landscape. I think there was the e-commerce boom, so getting everybody onto Shopify, helping them understand the ins and outs. Today, I think like e-commerce is pretty ubiquitous in the sense that it's very easy to understand how to get a product online and how to get that sold. That knowledge wasn't as readily available 10, 15 years ago. That wasn't like we take that as table stakes today, but just 15, 20 years ago, that was not the case. One of the things too is with Mark, he's always looking at what's next.
Yeah.
Always. And he's
Mm.
always looking at like how do you take what's upcoming, what's emerging, how you turn that into an opportunity for you to have an unfair advantage over all your customers and competitors. Unfair advantage where for you to serve your customers better, an unfair advantage for you to really win and beat your competitors. That never stops. And so it's like a perpetual learning experiment, I would say. I'm always like learning something new. More recently, I've been working on like AEO. So like looking
What's
at
AEO?
answer engine optimization. So you're taking like it's like the evolution of SEO. So search engine optimization is like what you used to do. You got a Google My Business profile. You got a website. You wanted to rank on Google. You used to do SEO to make sure that you showed up in the search engine. So you would make sure people could find you on Google or even on like Instagram. Like SEO, like people don't talk about it, but it's bro, you could have a whack Instagram by not putting the keywords in the right spot. And like a lot of people are probably having followers, having ownership, but like just using the profile in the wrong way.
I did not know there was an SEO for Instagram. That's interesting.
Think about it. So when people
No,
search,
yeah.
let's
Fitness, for
yeah, when
example,
they
yeah.
search, they search like you're in Bali. So because you do like creator management now, right? So
Yeah.
if you say creator,
Management.
yeah, like creator support,
Yeah.
right? Someone's searching that on Instagram. That's their search destination. There's someone searching that on TikTok.
Yeah.
Do you have content that shows up? That's a real question. That's SEO.
That is SEO.
That's
So is AEO with regards to your SEO coming up in AI searches?
yeah. So we're now looking at the search landscape from the perspective of now chat gpt. There's so many people talking to it. There's so many people talking to Gemini. There's so many people talking to Claude. How do you show up in these queries? So if
Yeah.
you ask Claude what's the best running shoes, or if you ask Claude what's the best entertainment to do in your local neighborhood,
Yeah.
these are queries that you can index for.
God damn it, bro. I'll have to just host it locally now. You guys are going to market that shit out of it, huh?
No, see, so I think that yeah, marketers run everything. Seth Godin
Right.
says
No,
that, and like
yeah,
it's very much
I
true.
agree. But tell me more about this. I'm really interested.
Yeah.
But what exactly are you doing? And does Cuban have a portfolio company operating in this angle?
No, it's just this is what I do, right? So I look at our whole portfolio and I see what areas can we like instill growth and also work with the founders on a case by case basis.
Okay.
So you might need help with something entirely different than the next company. And so I'm just one of the liaisons. Like if you ever watch Shark Tank, Mark has that famous phrase like, "Hey, I've got a team of guys that can help you do X, Y, and Z." I'm just one of those people, right? And so like in the grand scheme of things, like any company that's in our portfolio, there's a plethora of things that they can need help with, from
Yeah.
business development to marketing to sales enablement to just they need smart people to figure things out. And I
Yeah.
think one of the blessings that being in the Mark Cuban portfolio gets you is Mark's curated a really solid team of people that really know what they're doing and can ensure that you get like some good answers.
So, tell me about one specific project or one specific portfolio company you worked, which you found it to be very exciting.
That's a good question, man. I work with so many companies and so many projects. There's
Interesting.
like
Yeah.
300 there's 300 companies.
Yeah.
I
My
would
God.
say like one that comes to mind. There's so many. The company that comes to mind that was just like shocked. Shower toga.
What's that?
So it actually ties into your Spartan question earlier. So you go and do an obstacle course race. You're all muddy and you're like sweaty and you don't want to get in your car, right?
Yeah.
You know how
Right.
you've done
Oh,
it. You know exactly what
bro.
I'm talking about. So then what do?
Yeah.
You got to change clothes,
Yeah.
but you're not about to get butt naked in front of the whole world. There's no showers. There's no changing rooms. You're at a Spartan race. Cressa, the founder, she ended up building this company where she literally just it's a plastic bag of sorts, right? Like some people call
I
it a
got you what
garbage
you're trying
bag.
to say. Yeah.
Some people call it a garbage bag, and like now they have design. So it's at the time when it was just silver. Yeah, I saw what people called it, but it was one of those most ingenious concepts where it's like, hey, if you got to change in public, this helps you do that. If you got to shower in public, this helps you do that, and it's quick. Like you get changed in like 60 seconds. So me as a runner now, I use it all the time, and even then, that company went on to do really well. I'm not gonna say the numbers, but I'll say that she did more. They were much more surprising numbers than I would have ever suspected for a company like that.
Interesting. So is it like you are able to have set up curtains or something like that and like change on the spot?
No, it's
How,
literally like a towel. So you know how like in a locker room you put the towel, you wrap it around,
yeah.
take your underwear off, put it back on.
Yeah.
Crystal designed a thousand times better version of that. So
Oh,
it's got
okay.
like
Yeah, bro.
pockets.
I've always had
It's
this.
waterproof. Like
Yeah.
you can put your dirty clothes in it.
My
It
goodness.
doesn't make a lot of sense. And so this is the
Yeah.
thing about companies. Like the companies that you think would make the most sense usually do nothing. The companies you think that aren't going to do anything end up doing so much. There's another company called Hug Sleep. It's you remember those onesies that you used to put on, like I forgot what those things were called. Snuggies? Were they called Snuggies?
I never went through the onesie trend.
But you know what I'm talking about.
I do know what you're
So think
talking
about that,
about.
but like
Yeah.
a pillow and it holds. It's like a blanket.
Oh my
It's
God.
like a blanket that hugs you.
God
And
damn
so
it.
you get into that joint and
Yeah,
you go
I
to
wouldn't be
sleep.
getting out of it.
A lot of people
Yeah.
aren't. And so that's the new thing right now, right? Is
That's crazy,
Hug
dude.
Sleep's doing really well. And
It's all of these small. Okay, you're looking at certain problems. The that particular company allows you to change without you having a wardrobe malfunction. But even these small problems you're solving can have an exponential impact in the wealth that you can create,
well,
right?
but you talk about the impact, right? So like how many people don't get good sleep, right? That's actually a problem. So if
Yeah,
you can just
true.
even increase like the world's like even just look at the United States alone, you can say, hey, I can improve this. I can help 2% of people in the United States get a better night's sleep. You've driven a lot of great
Hell
outcomes.
yeah.
So that's one thing with Hug Sleep, where it's like,
Mm,
small. It
I
seems like a
agree.
small company, but like when they hit their mission,
Yeah.
they have a crazy, enormous impact on the world.
No, I will
You look,
100% agree to
you look
that.
at
Yeah.
Shower Toga. It sounds wild,
Yeah.
but then you start to look at the work they're doing with homeless people. You start to look at the work they're doing with natural disasters. So if
Yeah.
you think about like in Bali, you have these great floods. What if you get flooded out and you don't have anything and you need to change or
True.
you need to
Yeah.
clean up and all you got is the little water fountain out there. Some people need to cover themselves. This is a Muslim country,
Oh,
right?
100%, bro.
So now you have this actual device
Yeah.
that allows you to do on the spot. And so like disaster
So
preparedness and readiness is like, there's so many
that's crazy.
utilities
Yeah,
that you can
100%.
get into off
Yeah.
silly things, but like you have to actually one come to the space with an open mind and say, hey, how does this grow? And that doesn't change. And that's why when you ask me the question, like, oh, what company? It's like, bro, I got a story for all the companies I worked with.
Interesting, dude. But what is your intersection with that? For example, a portfolio company comes up in terms of this Hugsy. What exactly are you doing? Are you working towards bringing more eyes onto that
Yeah.
company and product?
So growth is everything from how do we get more sales? How do we get more visibility? How do we fix conversion rate? How do we get a channel that's repeatable? Because when you think about it, like growth loops is where growth marketing started. So when you started to think about like how do you acquire customers, how do you nurture them and like basically retain them, and then how do you monetize and maximize that? And so that whole process is like the essence of growth marketing. And growth marketing is went on to evolve into so many different things. And I also think that like today, growth is not as much as a mainstay because I don't think every company needs to be accelerated. Like I think a lot of
No?
companies today
Oh.
don't actually know their fundamentals. So like why accelerate? Like I think you should know more about your customers. I think you should know more about what problem you're solving. I think you should know more about the solutions.
Yeah, that's an underlying issue, and also changes so much, and also because there's so much noise that people tend to forget what they're actually doing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
important to, it
Yeah.
goes down to the vision of the company, bro. Like, it's important to look into that almost on a day-to-day basis, because things shift, and then your priorities would shift based on the noise that you are facing, or the day-to-day issues that you're facing. So you always need to be grounded in that terms. Only when you're grounded would you be able to grow or leverage or scale.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No,
So yeah.
like growth is growth. It's a skill set, and I think having the growth mentality is great. Like I'm definitely blessed to have that. Having worked at Mark Cuban Companies
Yeah.
is also a blessing in itself. I've been able to be a part of some really wild journeys, and I've seen things like cost plus drugs come to life. Where
Yeah. So I was reading about that. That's so important, by
it,
the way.
so I was
Yeah.
there when the email came through, seeing the time it took to go back and forth and like meander on what should we do, what does this
Yeah.
look like, and like the whole process. And then now you have this entity that's literally transforming healthcare as we know it within the
This
United
is going to
States.
have a
Ar-
ginormous
ar-
impact,
Already has, like
right?
the train's already left the station, and so it's just
Yeah.
now a matter of time to
I
see
love
like
that.
what the impact really unfolds into.
Yeah. Dude, I think we can literally go on for a couple more hours,
For sure.
but I would want to end this podcast with you, with just asking you, what are the 2 or 3 predictions for the future that you are superbly interested about? Because there are thousands of predictions you could make, but what are you really interested about?
And this man reads my blog, I can tell. So every day I actually take notes in a journal and I ask myself, what's the future? I call it my WTF journal. It
Yeah,
sounds like you
I love
want
that.
two live WTFs. So I'm gonna do that. The first one I would say that not a lot of people are thinking about is like dead internet theory. With this theory that came out in like the mid 2010s, and it was this whole concept that you have people that are just consuming junk on the internet, and so there was not a lot of good content being made, nothing really nourishing
Mm.
for your mental or for your like your state of being, and so you just had this like the content that was being produced, like the best content already existed, and like, there's no more coming. I actually think we missed that. Dead internet theory is not 2018. Like that was maybe the precipice. It was a prescient start or a prescient forecast, but it actually starts right now with bots.
Mm.
Because if your bot's just generating AI slop and my bot's just generating AI slop, and the bots just go back and forth, I'm on the Twitter or X today, and you look at it, I can tell when it's just AI just commenting. You can tell when someone's got AI doing their profile.
Yeah.
I can even read now Substacks, and I could tell.
But that's a consequence of all of this issue. So, in terms of a prediction for that, what are you looking at?
I don't think anyone's on the internet in 10 years.
Ah, so where are
What
they going to be?
you're gonna have to go back to offline channels. You're gonna have to figure out what does proof of existence look like, and I think that's where the opportunity lies.
So, you don't think there's going to be some sweeping mechanism to?
Why would I spend my time reading stuff that your bot made? Do you want to read stuff that my bot made, or do you want to read stuff from me, or do you want to hear stuff from me as a person?
Hmm,
And if I'm
interesting.
that interesting, why do I have a bot?
Hmm.
But I have a bot for efficiencies, because if you have a bot and I've got a bot, then our bots can talk about it. But then if our bots are posting it and our
Oh
bots are
man,
botting, like
some
the
bots
bots
having
take over the
podcasts now.
yeah,
Yeah,
the bot they already do. Like
I
you
know. You
Notebook
tell
LM,
me about it.
Google
Yeah.
has that, and you have 11 Labs and Suno. Like you have the stuff that you're saying, it's already here. It's
Yeah, I mean,
just
I'm using it, bro.
exactly you have bots, and so
Yeah.
my question then becomes it just becomes a notion of who has the most bots, publishes the most stuff. The stuff doesn't really have value, and so
Okay.
I think that's one. Number
That's dead
two,
internet theory one. Yeah.
yeah, dead internet theory is here. Like
Interesting. I've never looked into it, but yeah.
you just got
Second.
bots talking to bots.
Yeah.
Second thing I would say, bro, we're in the era of like person to person, right? You got to go hand in hand again. Think churches, think church marketing. So a church or synagogue or whatever, whichever religious group, they have a place of worship, right?
Mm.
Think in that realm, whether you're at the church, the synagogue, or the mosque. There's a date where we all gather, we all worship. And then there's activities around that date that allows us to do the same thing. We're seeing it like with the run clubs. We're seeing it with the pickleball meetups. We're seeing it with your book club.
Mm.
We're seeing it with dinners, right? People want to interact with other people. They don't know how. We need to create more third spaces, and those third spaces need to have a reason of being. And so I think that that's the second thing I would say is, if I were like in your listeners or your viewers' perspectives, I'd say, okay, what is the third space that I'm already attending? And what is the third space I wish I had? And maybe between the intersection of that, you'll find a really cool entrepreneurial idea.
Bro, I think the same. Yeah, 100%. What's the third one?
Third one, man, I would say take care of your mental health, big dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say
It's on a decline.
I'm bearish on mental health, man. And
Gooning
so,
all day, gooning all night, you know?
yeah,
Mental health
gooning.
declining, you know?
Gooning. Gooning is an industry, big dog.
Cheers
Gooning.
to gooning, bro.
It's just beginning. The Gooners haven't even started, man.
Bro, the VR is
Goonies
yet to come.
We thought the Goonies was a movie, and we thought that it was gonna be real cool. Goonies are that's post Gen Z. They talking about Gen Alpha. I'm looking at the Goonies. The Goonies is about to run the world.
Well, bro, yeah. That's great. Well, let's finish with the Goonies then. I loved having you over here.
Don't call me a Goonie. I know of the Goonies. I see them. I acknowlge them. I am not a Goonie.
I'm the chief gooning officer. What are you talking about?
The chief gooning officer. I'm the chief meme officer. Call me meme lord. You know what I'm saying?
Well, fuck the
I'm the meme lord. I love it.
Nice having you.